don't know about you, but this is kind of weird. Just like,
Why?
well, because I'm used to so many boxes that this is just like you.
Oh, you can just see more?
It's literally just you, and I'm like, all right, we're just having a normal call.
We're having a chat, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just two friends hanging out.
We're hanging out as leaders of the fantasy Premier League table.
We're in a battle.
So I was
think
just
I'm
looking.
up by 1.
So I was looking at it. I had 49. I had 62. It put you up by 1. I have 2 points, bonus points pending. And then I have, but we
I'm
both
gonna have
have
bonus points too, though, because Mo Salah is definitely getting bonus points.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get the most bonus points.
Yeah.
But then I also have Darwin didn't play, so he's gonna get subbed.
You're gonna get 2 points from that.
I'm gonna get 2 points from who was it? Trossard.
We both have 3 people playing in the Newcastle game too.
So we both have 3. Dude, it's literally neck and neck. It's great. I
think you just determine what my bet's gonna be for later.
It's just gonna be all your guys scoring.
Basically.
All your guys and none of my guys like don't play.
Yep.
That would be annoying. But I had I think I have Botman, Estupinian. I have Sully March, but I think he's literally just out. And I have McAllister.
I need Pope to have a clean sheet while Matoma's scoring. So however that works out.
That's like in my heart too. That's like the opposite of what I need. I need Brighton to just fucking crush Newcastle.
Yeah, in terms of the Liverpool, yes.
Yeah. I'm like dying for it. It'll be close though. I think it'll be because I think we're both paying attention. So as the two people paying attention to it, of course it's like. I also, if you do win this, it'd be massive because I have Haaland.
That's what the fact that I'm still alive with 2 games to go with you having Haaland, like.
Everyone else has just been bad.
I'm not gonna say that like it kind of shows I have more of a complete team, but I kind of have more of a complete team.
You're a better manager than me.
Yeah, well, Tim Ream's out for the season on my bench. I need to actually pick someone up for the last 2 weeks.
I think I have more transactions on the wire than everybody combined in this league, so I'm try-harding real bad.
All right, well that makes me feel like I really want to beat you then. It'd be even funnier.
Be even a better win.
Yeah, because it means I just drafted well.
The NAFTA Podcast.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Welcome back. I don't know what episode this is. This is usually John's thing.
149. I actually listened to the Solo Dolo episode.
So this is episode 149.
We
Season
need to
3.
make sure everyone's together next episode.
Yeah, we do. Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Are you going to be here Thursday?
I think so. I'm not planning on going to Utah again.
I was going to say,
you've
been everywhere.
Yeah,
you've been everywhere, man.
Work's been a little busy, but we're honing it in for the summer.
That's all right. Don't even worry about it. You got me and Dylan this week. Nick had a couple helicopter delays. I don't know what John's doing, but we're here per his Zoom request. Gonna break down the week. I think there's like 3 shocking-ish games. I think for the most part, the other ones I think were pretty standard for us. We will start it off though. I think we'll start off with the not so interesting ones like we always do. Get to the interesting ones after. First one, Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 1. Ramsey and Luiz for Aston Villa. Kane penalty in the 90th minute. The only thing I have on this, Dylan, I think Aston Villa has done the double over Spurs this year, and the Harry Kane penalty does not get called a penalty unless it's Harry Kane.
I agree. I think there's a lot of bias in that call.
What else do you got from this? Were you shocked? I think maybe you could make the argument Spurs, like when they're good, but
at this point, like
just no.
No, like I don't know. You have a team in Aston Villa who actually like has been trending upwards, and they are still fighting to get into Europe. Where you have a team in Tottenham who just assumes they're going to be in Europe and doesn't really give a shit. Like this, I don't know. I had a buddy. We were talking about like he did follow soccer a little bit, but not much. And we were talking about, and he was like, Tottenham's in like 10th, right? Because they just always lose. And I was like, boy, do I have a surprise for you. Like Tottenham should just be happy that they're probably going to finish 6th. But they officially got knocked out. They can't reach Champions League, so they're officially, we don't have to worry about that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, based off of the results this week, they officially just can't get 4th.
So now that I'm thinking of like 3 games, they have 2 left. Yeah, they can't. They literally just can't get it. Yeah. Brighton has 2 games left to play over them, and they're ahead of them on points now. Villa are even on points. I think Villa have to play us, and I don't know who the other team is. But so maybe they won't get ahead of them. It'd be so cool if they did though.
Villa actually might. No, I'm looking at it. I didn't realize they're in 7th, so my bad. Spurs are even worse than I thought.
Yeah. So they got us and Brighton. That's tough. I mean, that's going to be a tough 2 games left for Villa. But I mean, dude, compared to where they were early in the season to where they are now, it's unbelievable.
I'd say they're chilling.
Yeah, they're fine. They're probably going to get. I don't think like Brentford has to win both. They have to lose both for them to catch them. I think they're fine. I think it's so cool though that it could literally be. I don't care if we get in 4th or whatever, but like Brighton, Villa, Brentford, Spurs. If Spurs could somehow get in 9th, lose out, it would be pretty wild.
Talk about just the news cycle for a Spurs fan of. You finally get a win, and you're like, all right, we might be all right. And then it's, oh no, we suck again, and Poch is going to Chelsea. Like, literally just smacked in the face with reality.
I think because it seems like it's the end of the season thing, right? Like, he's not stepping in over Lampard.
They think Lampard could still work out for his last 2 games. So they're
so I think we might save that one for when we can get everyone's take on it.
Yeah, we'll hold back on that.
We'll hold back.
I think me and you might actually be in the same mindset about this hiring.
I just want everything.
This. I think it's going to be a dumpster fire.
I do too.
Okay. Let's go. Yeah, I figured we're on the same page.
Next one we have Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. Eberechi Eze for you. This has been your big fantasy thing too. He's been going off for you. 2 goals in the 39th and 58th minute. One by Ayew, assisted by Ayew, one by Elise. Bournemouth are fine. They're here next year. Crystal Palace are surging under Hodgson. The only person I think that misses was John, believe it or not, who is the biggest Crystal Palace guy.
Yeah.
He picked a tie.
I think Bournemouth's happy. They're safe. They're not. I would.
Yes.
I'd love to say that. Like, I think John was saying like, hey, they might want to get over 40 points. Some of that. I don't think they give a shit. They're just
no.
I think their social actually did a receipts recently. Like,
yeah.
They just did a.
I saw the TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I sent it.
Yeah, so like at this point, if they're sending that out, their season's over. They're like, we're safe. We don't care. We're partying.
Yeah, I think mathematically they're easily safe. They're actually, if they get another point, they're basically safe above 16th too. So they're not even close. And then Crystal Palace, I just want to know who's going to be the coach next year.
I don't even know where they go. I actually do agree with John with this. I think it is actually like a job someone might want. Like,
I agree.
An attractive job.
And I think I think Eze, Elise are both two really good players. I think the defense needs like a lot of work, but I think you can kind of build it around those 2 guys. I don't think Edouard up top is like that bad. I don't think he's really had a great year, but they got people, and then if Zaha just wants to stay there and be there forever, I mean, he's always going to be good. Can't be like Roy can't come back.
No, Roy's gone, but like I think he's actually just helping Crystal Palace just in general because he's proven like solidify the back, and you have free flowing like offensive players that can be fun like in the right system.
Yeah, the thing a couple weeks ago, I think John said, or I don't even know if it was John, maybe somebody. I think it was actually Nick said that what he heard was basically Hodgson just went in there and was just like, just play. Like, I don't even give a shit. And And that's great because I personally thought they would kind of bunker down when he came in just to keep it safe, don't give up goals, etc. And he just let him play, and I think they were being underutilized by Vieira. So
I agree. I think it's you need to figure out. Hopefully for them it shows you need a coach that lets them be their personality instead of oh no we need to finish in 12th.
You need a let the boys play coach.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. The Wolves haven't figured that out. We tried to let them play and we almost got relegated. So sometimes you have to do the opposite. But
well, speaking of Wolves, great segue, Dylan. Thank you. Man United 2, Wolves 0. Martial in the 32nd, Garnacho in the 90th. I think you guys just did not show up.
We showed up for a little bit, but
little bit.
I think that Lopetegui's messing around. He's seeing who he was. Like he made all 5 subs by I'm pretty sure like the 63rd minute in terms of like trying to figure out which of our forwards that don't know how to score, which ones we're gonna keep. That's essentially what the gameplay was. I will say this: we did have a Premier League debut in our goalkeeper.
Oh,
Didn't
Bentley.
look terrible. Mr. Bentley wasn't bad. He, if anything, he kept the game 2-0 instead of it being 4. So,
is that just a get him some game time, or is that like a Saw might not be there?
I think it's a get him game time, and I've seen reports that they want someone to challenge Saw, and because I think he's getting too comfortable apparently. So I think this is to see if he's the person, or we need to go out and go get someone. But they want Saw to be a little nervous.
Yeah, he's not had a great year.
No, he's not the Saw. I still think he's obviously good, but he's not.
Yeah,
who he was 2 years ago or last.
I mean, last year was arguably the best keeper in the league.
Yeah,
so he's not that now.
No, we need someone to push him.
I was making fun of John during his solo pod, which was I told him he was the Brian Windhorst of the NAFTA podcast. All the pausing really like kept the anticipation there, kept people listening. He mentioned that Rashford was going to score. I had to tell him, he was hurt like before the game.
You can shit on him for that. He got exact score right for like 3 or 4
games. I know.
Yeah,
one we'll talk about, and then I think it was the Fulham game. He got the exact score right.
He got Fulham right. I think he got Crystal Palace right too.
No, he picked a draw.
No,
he did. He picked a draw for Crystal Palace Bournemouth.
You're right. You're right. I'm thinking of Fulham. You're right.
Yeah. But the other one was the Chelsea Forest game.
Yeah.
He picked that exactly, which was very impressive.
And then he got the other one. Yes, we will be talking about too.
Yeah. Right. So I think for United, I think this was just Bruno Fernandes kind of was the little maestro in this one. His pass for Garnacho was great. I think he was just kind of the key guy. But I also think this is a game they probably just like have to win. So
I thought they're very lucky because if we had something to fight for, I actually think we could have scared them a little bit. Yeah. But like, I don't know. This is where I normally say I'm directionally accurate, and then you just stuff me in a locker. But I don't know what the rest of their schedule is, but I'm assuming it's pretty chill.
They have United.
Yeah.
They have Bournemouth away.
Okay, so
which I think if this
should be the same concept of what happened this week.
I think if this was 4 weeks ago,
it
would be a real tough game.
Correct.
Then they have Chelsea at home and Fulham at home. So really, they should.
Yeah.
They got to win. For me, they have to not win 2.
I think
they got to win 1 and a draw would be fine.
I know we mentioned it earlier when we were just bullshitting, but I don't think United's who you're catching. I think Thursday, the goals are literally you need to put that jersey back on. Yeah.
The problem with that is that United's goal difference is so bad that we could tie them. We're actually lower than Newcastle on goal difference. True. So we would need, because those 2 games they scored 6 goals and 5 goals or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
listen. I think
whoever trips up, you'll take whoever it is.
Last time I looked, I think it was 36% chance to get in. I don't think we're going to. I'm gonna stay confident about it, but if I'm a betting man, I'm not putting money on it.
I kind of want to put an outside shot on Brighton and just go 4-0 and we guys all fuck up.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I would like that more than either of the other 2 getting in there. I used to be a Newcastle fan, but they're too good now. I can't be a fan of like 2 top 5 teams.
I mean, Brighton's plus 3,500 to finish top 4. Like, why not just put like $10 on it and just see if they win out?
See if they do it. Do they have to literally win out?
I mean, they would be if they win their 2 games in hand. I'm assuming like a Newcastle or United loses a game. If they win,
They play Newcastle.
So if they beat Newcastle this week, they're 61, and then they win their other one to catch up to you guys. They'd be at 64 points. So basically, it'd be 66, 65, 64.
That's so
right.
cool.
So like, there's actually I'm pretty sure they have to win out, and then they need help. But like, stranger things have happened.
We need for the sake of the top 4, we need Brighton to win, and we need Bournemouth to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll just have
think about it this way. Everton will go winning 6-0 actually might literally fucked.
Yeah.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Or else this would be a completely different conversation.
You'll have 66, 65, and then I think Brighton's other game in hand is literally City. So that might change your mind.
City might not care anymore.
Yeah, if they win this next one, they don't give a shit.
Actually, sorry, did I just put a theory in there that you didn't even think about?
I might be with you. I would love it. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah. All right, officially $10.
Liverpool, Brighton 3-4. Man U and Newcastle get kicked out. Whoa.
That would be Nick's nightmare.
Oh my god, that'd be funny as hell though.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be so sick. Okay, that's what I want to happen. I don't think it will, but that would be awesome.
But we're gonna bet on it.
Yeah, we're gonna bet on it. Next one, Southampton hosting Fulham. Like I said, John got this one right. 2-0 Fulham, Vinicius and Mitrovic both. So Mitrovic did play 48 and 72nd minute. What do you want to say about this one? This mathematically puts Southampton relegated. They're done. They're gone.
Do you think they keep any of their young players that they got? I know Ward-Prowse is probably gone, but do you think the rest of the talent actually stays, or they just what they planned on doing for the long term doesn't even help them to get back up?
So I guess they have like a decent amount of like young players that I think are gonna stay. I think someone like Lavia probably doesn't, because he's just had a great year. I don't think Ward-Prowse does because you can get a lot of money for him. John said he thinks they're gonna be a mid-table championship team. I don't. I think they'll challenge next year to come back up.
I think they're in a position of where Burnley was. If they get the right coach, you could see them right back here.
Yes, because I think they have talented players. I think this year has just been an absolute disaster.
I agree.
If I'm being honest. And Fulham, I think I said that they were the first team on the beach and that they weren't going to have results. I'm pretty sure they've won like a shit ton of their game. Well, they lost 3 in a row, but they played Villa, City, and Liverpool. They've won the past 2 against relegated teams, and then they beat Leeds. They beat all the relegated teams. So they weren't that pushover that we thought they might be.
When Mitrovic scored 10 minutes into coming back from his 10-game suspension, I
bet he was a big dick about it.
Of course he was, but I think when I don't know. I've been trying to think about these mostly because I'm trying to get back to 500. So I've been really trying to think about who cares about these games and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think when Fulham is playing a team that's better than them, I don't think they care. And I think this goes for some other teams in the Premier League where they want momentum in the next year and they want to prove that they're still better than teams that are below them, which is why you're still seeing the results that you're getting.
I would
and Southampton
agree
just
with
sucks.
you.
That too.
Southampton also does just kind of suck, don't they? Dylan, I'm trying to see where you are.
I'm 5 games below.
5 games below. So
with 2 to play. I need to go 3 games above and 2 games above just these next 2 weeks with some of these specialty games sprinkled in.
You got to win the specialty ones. It'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah, well, I don't know who to fucking pick on Thursday.
Okay. I think I'm 189. I'm trying to get to 200. I can't catch John. If I try to catch John and pick opposites, I'm just gonna end up under 200 probably.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just get to 200 if I can. All right, next game, Brentford West Ham. This is another one. I think West Ham are fine now after that. The result that they just had against United, wherever they were going around clapping and shit. I think that was pretty much game over for them. They don't care anymore.
I had a
Brentford,
theory on this game.
Go ahead.
Well, I won. This was probably the easiest bet I made all weekend. Was Brentford, for the fact that what you just said, West Ham is safe, and although it's Conference League, I think they want to win a trophy. I don't think they gave a shit about this game. I think it was rest up to be okay for Conference League, to where this was the easiest. Like, Brentford's going to win no matter what.
And I think in the Conference League, they literally came back against Alkmaar, right? They were down at in the 41st minute, then Rama penalty, and then Antonio goal to win 2-1. They needed that because that was the home leg.
Yep.
So hopefully they can go. I mean, I'd like to see them win. It'd just be cool to see, even if it's Conference League. Like, I know, fuck it. Like,
the trophy's listen. I know you don't understand this concept, but when you don't win them a lot, especially in a situation like that in Europe, a trophy, that's a big deal.
It's not that I don't understand.
You don't understand.
Because if we do get Europa League next year, that's all I'm going to care about. Europa League is back.
Watching the reverse of Nick being in Champions League and you being in Europa and you guys shit talking each other is gonna be a fun dynamic next year.
Well, I found a whole Twitter thread about why the Europa League is actually better than the Champions League. It's a bigger trophy, so.
All right,
it's also literally a bigger and heavier trophy, so those are the first 2 points. And I think the other one was there's more teams in the Europa League, so therefore it's more games and it's harder for you to win it.
Yeah, just how we say the championship's harder than the Premier League. Good call.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyway. All right, I don't think there's anything really else about that one. Man City 3, Everton 0. Ilkay Gundogan, just absolute masterclass. 37th minute, he assisted Haaland's goal in the 39th, and then he had a direct kick goal in the 51st. He's been crazy for them lately. Everton didn't really do anything for the entirety of the game. They had a couple... Actually, if you look at the momentum bar and the XG, Everton's XG was 1.78 and Man City's was 7.76. How did this happen? I didn't watch this game.
Oh, I did. Well, I watched parts of it. Did you see the goals at all?
No. I just assumed that this was just easy.
No, it was basically the first 30 minutes, I was like, holy shit. Everton,
I know Pickford fucked up.
Yeah. But Everton was I was like, they actually have a chance. Then Gundogan's first goal was sick in terms of it was a back turn to the net off the knee, and then one of these not that it was a scorpion jump, but how your leg just goes like this, without looking into the back of the net. And everyone's saying that was the best goal of the weekend, where I think his second goal was even better. But it was basically 2 quick goals in 2 minutes, which kind of then all of a sudden Everton was done, and they subbed out Calvin at halftime because they were like, "Fuck it, we'll wait for the next 2 wins."
Oh, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, sorry,
Gotcha.
I need to put you on your toes.
I knew what you meant.
I know what I wanted to say, and I was like, this just isn't going to come out of my brain right now, so I'm just going to get as close as I can to it. But yeah, they subbed him out, and then Gundogan's second goal was over the it was not even a ripper. It was one of those perfectly lobbed over the wall top right.
Oh
goals.
yeah.
Pickford was so slow to get there, but it was really good.
Well, good. I like when Everton lose. My bias came into I saw 3-0 and I was like, Everton just didn't fucking care. They suck anyway.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think this isn't what you want to hear.
Don't say it.
I think Everton's not the team that's getting fucked out of relegation. I actually think because again, they play me they play the Wolves. That's a game the Wolves will happily lose, and then they get more. And then Everton has the best schedule out of the rest of them in terms of Wolves and Bournemouth. To say that's I don't think it's what you want to hear, but I think they're going to finish right above that line.
That Bournemouth one now, I was excited about it, but now it's just Bournemouth are fine.
Yep.
The thing I will say is at away from home, they're terrible. So this is you're going to Wolves, and then I think it has to be Leeds that do something, because I think Leicester are fucked.
Leicester is fucked. They put up. I'm assuming you watched today.
Yeah, I did.
Did you watch Did you have it on for the after show at all? they put up the scenarios essentially like Leicester's fucked. Like they're relegated either if they lose and Everton and or Leeds win, they're officially done. Or if they tie and Everton and Leeds both tie or something like that, or one of them wins and ties, like they're screwed. Like essentially it was like they have no shot. They're done.
And their next game is Newcastle.
Correct.
At St. James Park.
And if Newcastle doesn't win on Thursday, Newcastle has to win. So I'll take the team that is playing for Champions League instead of the team that's going to get relegated.
You'll take the better team playing for something than the worst team playing for something.
Correct. And yeah, I said that 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah. You're correct. I agree with you. The only thing I'm thinking is, like, if you never know, I'm hoping now for like a Leicester. Now that I know that, I'm hoping for a Leicester win. But I don't think. I mean, they were terrible today. I know we can get into that game too, since I don't think we're going to talk anymore about City Everton.
No.
We can talk about relegation as a whole in a second. Allison had a number of like big saves, but apart from that, he had one like real outstretch. He had one like cutting down the corner with Vardy in the first half. He essentially had like 2 big saves in the entire game. Their defense is absolutely terrible. We could have scored like 6 goals. Curtis Jones, the hate for Curtis Jones as somebody who is in the Liverpool Twitter space has always been there. I don't think he's like insane, but he's playing really well the past couple weeks. 2 goals today. Mo Salah 3 assists. Fuck that on your on your damn fantasy team.
I needed that.
And Trent got that like kind of like free kick assisted goal. So I mean they were terrible. Like they were not good. I think honestly, if you want my personal opinion, them losing Schmeichel was probably papered over so many defensive woes for them.
Yep.
That Danny Ward back there, and then I don't even know who is the guy now. Iverson.
Yeah.
Everson. I think they're probably fine, but they can't weather the storm of Johnny Evans and Pereira and Castaigne, who's pretty good offensively, but not, a great defensive keeper or defensive wingback.
I agree. I think this was a question that was posed after the game too, that I forgot that this even happened this year. But if you remember, because we're still in the middle of a World Cup, being in the middle of the league type of year, which obviously doesn't normally happen, they had won like 4 or 5 games going into the World Cup, and then all of a sudden came back from the World Cup and started sucking again.
Mm-hmm.
The argument was that, do you think that screwed Leicester, or would they have gone down anyway?
The World Cup. If the World
like
Cup screwed them,
like if you look back, like they like obviously were like everyone else, including the Wolves, like terrible. World Cup happens, Wolves come out of it and actually like start winning some games because we have a new coach, all that type of stuff. Where Leicester went into the World Cup starting to win 3 or 4 games, and then came back from the World Cup and started sucking again.
Yeah. That's interesting. I honestly have no clue because that's so long. I feel like if that's what you're blaming, then you're trying to cope with the fact that you weren't very good.
Well, because if you look at this, you ready?
Uh-huh.
In October, like, they weren't great. Then they win against Leeds, win against Wolverhampton. They lost to City, beat Everton, and beat West Ham. So they basically were on a 4-1 stretch. And they drew before the Leeds game. So a 4-1-1 stretch. After, like, where they came out of the gates with loss, draw. So they started off 5-1.
Jesus Christ.
So this is just to give you your physical chart. It started off 5-1, and then after coming off of that, they figured there was a win and a loss one in there, and then they basically went 4-1-1. Then the World Cup happened. Then they came back and went loss, draw.
So that beginning period they got 1 point, then they got 13.
Yep.
And then they came back from the World Cup and like next 4 games they got 1 point again.
Correct.
So that's half their points right there.
And those games were against
bad teams.
they came back against Newcastle and Liverpool, which is tough.
Fuck.
But there was also Liverpool when you guys kind of sucked. Like in December.
Well, we beat them 2-0 on 2 own goals.
You won 2-1. That's the game. Yeah, that's the game you won 2-1.
2-1, yeah, on 2 own goals.
But then they played Fulham, which I know they were good, but still that's a winnable game potentially. And then they lost to Nottingham Forest. So like again, that was I don't know. I just think it's interesting if you look at it that way. That like because like I think we talked about it so much in the beginning of the year, and at this point, at least for me, like I forgot that the World Cup just literally cut the season in half, and like we keep thinking of how it affects certain teams. I think at the top, as opposed to like it screwed everything up potentially for Leicester. But if you're bad, you're bad.
Yeah, maybe I would argue that if you have 2 stretches where you in 5 games you get a point, that's not good.
No, but you might those stretches don't happen maybe if you're still having not a month off of when you've just won 4 out of your last 5.
Yeah, I'd also say though the periods of time they did win were against teams that are in the same position they are right now. So Leeds, Everton, West Ham, arguably West Ham was terrible at the beginning of the year too.
And us too. Okay, fair enough. But you know
yeah, you guys were bad too.
But that's the thing is they were But like, let's put it this way: they were beating the teams that they were supposed to beat to get out of this, and then they came back and you had 2 tough games, but then they had 2 teams that they should have beaten in terms of Nottingham Forest and Fulham. So,
I don't know.
In the scale of like coming through a normal season where those are still happening weekly.
I think I could twist this, and then we can move on because I'm sure everyone's loving this conversation. I could twist this as the bottom of the table teams you might be able to beat. But those bottom teams, like Southampton's, think about this. 2 draws against Arsenal this year. They came back against Spurs. They knocked City out of like the cup. Like Southampton is on 24 points, right? And they had some like pretty big results in the league.
But I can poo-poo that because Norwich, when they got like 20 points, beat City.
That's so true. I was there.
So,
well, I wasn't there. I was watching it with John. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, I think you could probably just like look at this any way you want to try to make an argument. But anyway, I think they're in trouble.
Leicester's bad. They're going down. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think they actually might be, and I think depending on if Leeds can get a win, I think Everton's still in play. But I think Leeds' schedule is they have Spurs the last day, and then I don't know who else is the other one.
I will say this as opposed
West Ham,
as opposed to what we're saying about Southampton. Spoiler alert. Shut off your earphones for 5 seconds. I actually think Leicester, if they go down, I wouldn't be shocked if they Sunderland it, because they already have ownership issues as it is. I could see it just being a complete train wreck with them going down.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barb.
Yeah. But like Southampton, like I actually have some confidence in to get back up. I could see because all of Leicester's players, like they have to get rid of freaking everybody.
Yeah, they got to get rid of. I mean, Madison will be gone. Vardy will be gone. Tielemans will be gone.
Dunk. I just like saying Dunk.
They don't have Lewis Dunk, do they?
No, I'm thinking of Brian. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. He's actually fine. He's like
he's good.
Heaven right now.
He's gonna be in Europe. Never mind.
So we kind of led into it a little bit, Dylan, but we'll talk about it now in depth. Leeds 2, Newcastle 2. Leeds. Luke Ayling's 7th minute goal, then 2 penalties from Callum Wilson, the 31st and the 69th, and then Christensen, whose first name has escaped me, Rasmus Christensen, with a deflected goal off of Kieran Trippier to tie the game. The end of the game was essentially Leeds holding on for dear life, Newcastle putting everybody forward. Junior Firpo got a second yellow in the 90th minute, which made it even more dicey. But I'm pretty sure the first point for Big Sam Allardyce as Leeds manager in 2 really tough games. He had City and he had Newcastle.
I think they're extremely happy with this point because I don't think they even thought they were going to get one from this stretch. I think this was all about getting the foundation for the next 2 games. And like, I don't know. I don't know who to choose out of this juggling all 3 of these teams. Like. They don't look terrible anymore. They look bad, but not terrible.
I will say, if Everton get a win, I think they're probably good to go. The thing is, Leeds are a point behind. They're a goal behind on goal difference, right? So 24, minus 24 for Everton, minus 25 for Leeds. If they get a draw and Everton lose, they're tied. At best, they're tied on goal difference. And Leeds have scored more goals by a lot, like 14. So in the case of a draw on points, I think Leeds edge them. But then you get into like, well, if Leeds win, they're tied with Forest, and they have a better goal difference than Forest. And if Everton win, then they're just ahead of Forest on goal difference. So really, Forest is still in this too if both those teams win.
Yeah, but like at this point, I think we've determined that obviously the relegation battle is way more fun than the City winning the league. In terms of the fact that every team is catching a break. Because does Arsenal give a shit playing Nottingham Forest? I mean, I know they might, but at this point, like,
I think
like
so. They play 12:30 on. Yeah, they play 12:30 on Saturday. I don't know what time City plays. They could already have lost the league.
Yeah. So like
Let's
this,
see.
like literally is setting up. No, realistically, Arsenal probably completely kicks their ass. But like,
City plays Sunday, so Arsenal will come out for that. Trying to, I mean, they place Chelsea at home, so like, there's no way.
Then I retract my statement. Then yes, I think what you're saying is fair. I don't know. This Leeds team, at least, you played two very tough teams and only gave up 2 goals to each. They gave up 3 to City. I think they only gave up 2.
2.
So like, you played 2 very tough teams and only gave up 2. When you play teams that are more around your level, like it makes me think
West Ham.
It makes me think that like at this point, I think I'm leaning towards. I was gonna say Leeds leading into this. I actually think Everton and Leeds are the ones who ends up being safe and Forest goes down, which I know breaks your heart for what you want.
I really want all the promoted teams to stay because I don't know when they'll. It could be like 2 years ago for all I know, but I'm just saying I don't think that has happened in a while. If I were to bet, like I said, could be wrong. I'm a moron. But when you look at it, when you say Leeds have to win a game, right? And Leeds haven't won very many games, so you're thinking probably not going to happen. But you look at those last 2 games, and the reason you look at those last 2 games is because they have Sam Allardyce in charge, and they're actually, one is a great result, and the other one is a not so bad result, really. And you think, well, both of those teams are better than both the teams we're going to play next. And if I'm him, that's what I'm telling all of them.
Yep.
You guys got a point from a team that is better than either of these 2 teams you're going to play, and you stuck with a team who's going to fucking win the league.
Yeah. And that's because of that reason is why I'm starting to lead is I trust Big Sam a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Forest plays Arsenal now that we just determined is a point where Arsenal might still put a whooping on just to save pace.
Yeah.
And then they're away at Crystal Palace, and I think we can also say that Nottingham Forest sucks when they're not at home. Which is, and with the way Palace is playing, like, that's where I, like, I guess because I really can't flip-flop anymore with 2 games left, like, I officially now will make a brave stance and say that it is Nottingham Forest that will be going down, which I think I've said a lot of times at this point, but that's where I'll stay.
So, Chelsea have City, Newcastle, and I think United, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're probably going to lose all those games, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Do you think a motivation at all is that Crystal Palace finish ahead of them?
No, I think it's just Crystal Palace. It's what you said before. They're just playing. So, like...
they're just out there having fun.
They're just literally out there having fun, which is why I could, like... Granted, like, when a team is fighting for their lives, obviously, it can go differently, but, like, I just don't trust Nottingham Forest away against a team that's just free-flowing right now and having a blast.
So you're...
Because the only team honestly, that shut down Crystal Palace recently is the Wolves. So, like, there's only one juggernaut in the Midlands.
So true. So yeah, you're basically saying Forest their home game is against Arsenal. They're probably going to lose that. And then they got to go to Palace. The thing is, I think if Nottingham Forest are in a position where if they don't win, they're going to get relegated, that always changes things.
I agree.
But what I'm hoping for a Leeds win against West Ham. I mean, obviously, I want Everton to go down. But like, I guess for the best TV, you want Forest. You want Forest to probably lose and have to play Crystal Palace to stay up. You want Leeds having to win against Spurs, essentially, to not go down. And you want Everton, like, fighting for their lives as well.
If Everton beats us and Leeds gets their point and Nottingham Forest loses this weekend, that's what it basically comes... It comes down to that, like, NBC... There's no reason to show the Arsenal Wolves game or the whoever City's playing. Like, just show those 3 relegation games on TV. That's all that really matters.
They'll show City because...
Of course they will. But, like...
They'll be champs.
But, like, screw that. That's not what matters. Like, they need to go full red zone and put just those 3 teams
just
on
relegation
TV.
battle.
Yeah, like, that's what we need to watch.
The literal red zone, though, too.
Yeah.
That's actually... I mean, they'll all be on the same time. Famously, John didn't know that like a year ago.
I know, it's kind of tough when you're like leading the podcast. You're like, oh, they're all at the same time.
Yeah. He's like, we need to do these ones first and these ones. And I was like, dude, they're all at the same time. And he's like, oh, that's way better. And I was like, I know. It's like the best, like such a sick day.
What a concept.
Okay, so that one, I think we can go into. I mean, we've been talking about it. We can go into the next one. Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 2, Sterling a double, Awani a double. Forest was actually up 1-0. Chelsea came back. Forest tied it later. This also, Chelsea aren't very good. They're playing a little bit better now. They're at least scoring goals, but this was away from home too. So
yes, but I chalk this up as Chelsea is also just playing people to play people, and like. There's a difference between Chelsea playing people / knowing they don't have anything to play for when they're used to being at the top of the table and really not caring, which also shows you like them not caring against a team that's fighting for their lives still results in a tie, as opposed to what I'm saying with Crystal Palace is used to being in this situation and it's like, hey lads, let's go out there and go have some fun. Like you're still getting the top talent going out there. Plus, you never know. You do really well, like, you might get sold. So,
there you go. Yeah, they played... Mendy was the goalkeeper. He was terrible. What a fall from grace for him, too. I mean, he was like a keeper of the year last year as well, candidate.
Yep.
But, I mean, Chelsea have just been also awful. So, that's probably why. And then they also played Lewis Hall at left back. Probably not the best. But... Taiwo Awoniyi, he was really good. Morgan Gibbs-White, I know you hate this, but he was really good too. I just love the idea that like Forest could bring in 30 players and stay up. It's just kind of funny to me.
Yeah, but as of 5 minutes ago, I've taken a firm stance, so they have to go down.
That's fine. I'll stick with my stance. I think I actually said Everton and Forest and Southampton would go down. I think it's Leicester for sure now. Is the second one. But I'll stick with Everton just because it is still fun for me.
I mean, I know we had them, but like I was just looking at our standings for the year. I'm going to get 2 out of the 3 right for relegation, and I'm actually kind of happy about that.
Well,
and you can guess which one we all got wrong, because we all have them in 20th.
Bournemouth, yeah, the only one we were consistent about. Hopefully, good thing we're not like at all popular pod, or Bournemouth would pull our videos and make receipts of their own. Thank God that didn't happen.
But I have Southampton, I have Leicester, and I have Everton in 17th, which I might get spot on. Like, sitting right there.
Dylan, you're the relegation master.
I have nothing on the top right, but that's okay.
Speaking of, great segue here coming, ready? Speaking of relegation from the championship, winning the championship, I should say. Arsenal 0, Brighton 3. Let's see. Julio Enciso in the 51st, assisted by Pervis Estupiñán. Then Dennis Undav in the 86th, assisted by Pascal Gross. And then Pervis Estupiñán in the 90 plus 6th minute. Dude, this is like, this wasn't close.
No.
Arsenal weren't even playing this game.
It's like the reverse of, it's unfortunate, but I guess it's a better year for them. Like, Arsenal normally ends the season recently with Arteta so strong, and they start as slow as can be, and it's just been the complete opposite this year. It's unbelievable. Like,
yeah,
and I don't know. I guess it comes off of, we maybe should have seen this coming off of what just happened to Brighton with Everton, to be like, they're focused and ready to go. So I don't know. I guess hindsight's 20/20, but I guess we should have actually probably, one of us should be able to get this, other than Nick picking it because he was told to.
Yeah, his woman made him. I will say, this is where it's so hard for me, because if you look beginning of the season, right, and you told Arsenal fans they were going to compete for the title and finish second, they would have absolutely taken that from you.
Yep.
Without a doubt. They would have taken fourth because it had just been Champions League, right?
Yeah.
When you look at it in the context of the season, then it starts to feel like it's a letdown. But you could say the same thing for us in the fact that, like, beginning of the year, we look to compete, try to win the Premier League. Very quickly, we realized that's not fucking happening. And now the focus shifts, and now we're in a point where it's like, I would say the best we can do is salvage. Whereas, like, the worst Arsenal can do is have, like, honestly, like, a great season.
Like, that's the shame, is of how it's ending. Obviously, it's going to have a sour taste in Arsenal fans' mouths. But, like, from where they were to finishing second game back Champions League, like, they did what they were supposed to do this year.
The part that makes it so hard is that their fans suck this year. So I want it to be a failure.
I mean, it already is a failure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it is just because they were in a position to win, and now it's not even going to go down to the last day. Likely, it's not going to go down to the last day. They're not going to get 90 points, which is, like, they were, like, basically soaring to that, no problem. It feels so bad, but, like, I'm like a big picture guy. And if I'm being honest and take my bias out of it, I think it's, like, a great year for them. I like their team. I like their players. I think they should be pretty happy looking at it. It's just all the talk mid-season is just getting clipped up and put back in their face, and it's just so bad.
I agree. They bottled. I don't know. They bottled it. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
they fucking bottled it. They did.
There's no other way to unless we just want to really dig in and put some salt in the wound. Like, there's no other way to say it. You're fucked up.
Yeah. The team, I will say, Brighton. I think they could literally beat anybody. I think it could also obviously lose to anybody. They lost to Everton, for Christ's sake. But we said it earlier. We'd like to see them get into, like, Europa League, at least hold that spot. I think they will. But their end of the season is tough as well. They got Newcastle, Southampton, City, and then Villa. Well, Southampton will be easy, and I think they'll probably beat Villa too. So they got two really tough games. Hoping they pull one of those out. But yeah, I think that was just, they got so many. Like, they brought Dennis Undav in this year. They brought Julio Enciso in this year. And those dudes just slot in and score goals. And then Pervis Estupiñán, I think, came in January. And he's been in the back, like the right back position the whole time. And he's been unreal.
Sorry. I just got a text from Barb.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. Leicester lost.
That's it?
I don't think she was watching the game and just saw. I think she just realized that she's watching ESPN Plus next year.
Oh man, tell her shout out. I'm sorry. That's for making fun of me though. We sent you down.
Yeah. I say you literally just ruined my mom's like Monday, right after Mother's Day, no less. Like, come on, Michael.
Yeah, remember Barb when you guys beat us 1-0 and Casper Michael saved a pen, and then the literal next day you sent a video to the group that was just you going Casper Michael. Man, karma is crazy. How long it lasts. No, actually, Barb, I'm really sorry. I hate it had to be you. Sorry, Purvis and Subian is the left back. I said right back. Anyway, doesn't matter. I think Brighton are in a great position. They're going to lose some guys. I'm literally not even concerned that they're going to lose some guys. They'll find somebody in the Dutch league that's like 21 years old who just comes in and is like an unbelievable center mid. So, whatever.
Agreed.
Yeah. Speaking of Brighton, I believe, unless my ability to segue is horrible. Nope. They play Newcastle Thursday at St. James Park. We're gonna predict this. I'm not sure if I think we'll probably pod Thursday after this game with everybody. You're gonna get Dylan and I's take here. I personally think Brighton are gonna win.
See, are you picking that because you need that to happen, or you actually think that?
I think that will happen. I also need it to happen, but I'm saying that because I want to get 200. And the chances of me getting 200 wins is higher than the chances of Liverpool getting 4th or 3rd. So I would rather get one of those things. I think Brighton are going to win.
Yeah. See, when I think both teams can win, I think I just need to pick a tie, right?
Yeah, I guess. That would also work for me. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take Newcastle.
You're going to just take Newcastle?
I don't know. I don't know what my heart's telling me.
As you can see, if you're watching this in video form, Dylan is
I'm really perplexed.
Flabbergasted. Yeah, you have no clue.
Like, most games, like, I go through, I'm like, yep, this, and this. Like, I honestly really don't know. But, like,
I think...
because the problem is it's two teams that I think have never tasted Champions League, obviously, in a while. Well, one team hasn't, and another team, like, hasn't been there in forever. Like, I think, I don't know. I'm going to go with Newcastle because Newcastle's in we dropped points where we shouldn't have, which is where Brighton was against Arsenal, which is why I'm going to take Newcastle at home to beat Brighton.
That's your reasoning?
Forest is going down, Newcastle wins. I'm on a hell of a ledge this episode.
I'm going to go Brighton because I think they just pumped the second best team in the league. And I think the Everton result was an anomaly.
It's a wake-up call.
And up until that point, I think they were playing really well. And I think Newcastle has been they've been good in the games they've been real good, but they dropped points to Leeds. They've been average here and there. And I think they were bad against Arsenal too, both teams have just recently played Arsenal. Brighton beat the shit out of them. Arsenal beat the shit out of Newcastle. So I'm gonna go, if they can't keep a clean sheet against Brighton, I think they lose.
Fair.
And also it'll help me and my team. So.
Well, that's fair. Which is gonna make one of my bets look really stupid when we get into this.
It's all right. Don't worry, man. Last thing I want to talk about with you. We had some championship playoff. So currently, tomorrow, we have Luton Town hosting Sunderland. Sunderland's up 2-1. This is at Luton Town at their beautiful stadium that we hope to see in the Prem next year. And then the next day, we have Coventry going to Middlesbrough. That's a 0-0 right now after the first leg. Dylan, what do you think?
So this goes into my bets, because these were my two bets I was going to actually give.
Oh, here. Then let's just talk about your bets.
So I'm taking Luton Town plus 100 to win.
Just win the tie,
win the tie, but I actually think they advance. I think... So other than what happened last week, Sunderland and them have tied 1-1 at both times. I think at this point, you're back at home, feel like you got the home field advantage, especially in there, and also like this is very much I just want that stadium in the Premier League. So I will say there's 3 out of the 4 teams I want I'm happy with 3 out of the 4 teams advancing, and both of these teams I'm okay with advancing, but I'm taking Luton.
So who are you not okay with taking? Middlesbrough?
I don't want Coventry.
Oh, why?
Because Middlesbrough has Stefan, and I would like to see him actually play some Premier League if he can move up.
Last time he did play Premier League, he made a lot of mistakes.
That's fine. He'll be on a team that allows him to be free.
Actually play.
Yeah, which is nice.
So Middlesbrough, it was a 0-0. They kind of ran the game against Coventry, so hopefully at home they can put on a performance. I'm also... Listen, I haven't seen one Luton Town game all year. They had a better XG. They had more shots, or maybe more shots on target than Sunderland did, and they lost.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, they turn around big in the home tie. They advance. Middlesbrough advance. And then I'll just throw it out there again because I want Luton Town in the Prem. I got Luton Town winning that at Wembley.
I can get behind that because I also have Middlesbrough minus 115 winning. So we're other than Newcastle Brighton, we're on the same page.
I love that for us.
I'm also taking Matoma to score plus 350 anytime for my fantasy team for Thursday.
I'll take Estupinian to assist anytime. I don't know what it is.
Plus,
I don't even know if they have an assist.
They do.
Anytime.
It's a thing.
Okay, cool. So I'll take that too. I'll tell you what it is. I'll send the text to you. I'll show you what it is.
Okay.
Last thing, Inter or AC, Inter up 2-0. Does Inter just see it out at home?
Unfortunately, I think so, but it just kills my Champions League predictions. So, but yes, I think at this point 2-0 because they won 2-0. No, I think 2-0 is too much for AC Milan to overcome.
And then Man City the next day. Man City hosting Real Madrid 1-1.
City. I actually do think the treble's about to
happen. I picked Real Madrid, so I'm gonna stick with Real.
Fair enough.
Even though I hate that team with every fiber of my being, I'm just, like I've said many times, I'm just too scared of them in the Champions League.
You want them to hurt you the same way, or hurt Sean the same way they hurt you.
I don't actually want like proper therapy. I just want someone else to feel my pain.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, perfect, Dylan. We did it.
We did do it. I'm proud of us.
I can't wait for the next. Once these games, I think we have this midweek and then two more midweek games next week. But then 2 weeks left of the season, and then we'll do some FA Cup probably, do some Champions League depending on if Man City do make it. But until then, you got a joke for us?
Well, yeah, and also big 150. So
yeah, we need everybody there.
I'm gonna say that
Thursday.
We have some special things planned, but I don't know if we do. But we might. So tune in.
Well, I work like 48 hours this week, so I don't think I'm gonna be planning.
I mean, I'm consistently doing that, so yeah, I get that.
So John, it's up to you.
Yeah, that's the joke. All right, so because Nick's in the middle of baseball season, what time is it when a soccer team chases a baseball team? 11 after 9. Cheers.
The NAFTA podcast.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.